Many thanks for keeping it right here at Ebru TV. We are now on Table Talk, and as promised, in studio with me today is none other than SONU President Babu Owino. Thank you so much for creating time to be here, and welcome to the show. Let's get right into it. Now, you have vied 4 times, all of which you won, and perhaps the most contested one being this year's election, but still you won. Now, critics have named you as the Gaddafi of campus politics, saying that you have overstayed in power. What do you have to say about that?
Eunice, thank you very much. What I would like to talk about the critics is that I never concentrate on what's not important to me. I never lose the sight of a gazelle for a dashing squirrel, as I said the last time when I was here. When people call me the Mugabe or Gaddafi or Museveni of campus politics, that's their cup of tea. My cup of tea is to ensure that I deliver services to my constituents. I've vied 4 times. A parliamentary position goes for 1 term, which is 5 years. SONU election goes for 1 term, which is 1 year. Is that sufficient to deliver to the constituents? It's not. In fact, I wanted to extend my term to 5 years, but I've decided to donate my last year.
So you're not vying for 2017?
One of my constituents.
But perhaps the one who came up with 1 year as SONU president had a reason to. So why did you decide to extend for 4 years? Change
is as good as rest. So we need change. 4 years is enough. For me, I won't contest for the position again come next year, because I'll be contesting for parliamentary position. But all in all, what is important is service to the people. If some are criticizing that I've overstayed, are they also criticizing that I'm not performing? Nobody's saying that Babu has not delivered, yeah? But they seem to be saying that Babu has just overstayed. So I would like to remind them to concentrate on their business. My business is none of their business. My business is to take care of my constituents and serve them.
So speaking of parliamentary seat, you're going for the parliamentary seat of Embakasi East.
Yes.
So why Embakasi East?
It's because I'm a resident of Embakasi East, and constitutionally you are allowed to vie anywhere. I can decide to go and vie in Central Province, I can vie in Rift Valley, I can vie in Coast Province, can vie anywhere in any constituency.
Which party ticket will you be using, Babu?
I'll be using ODM, ODM and COD.
So that means you will resign from campus politics and concentrate on parliamentary national politics.
I'm a jack of all trades and a master of them all. I can do all this. I can serve my constituents who are the students. At the same time, I can serve Embakasi East residents. There's no problem with that.
But the IBC requires that anyone going for an elective position should resign their previous mandate.
But I'm not a member of the public, I'm not in public service. So
isn't University of Nairobi a public institution?
It is a public institution. But when you look at the process that was that I underwent to put me in office, it was not an appointive issue, it was an elective position. So by the end of the day, I don't see if they are colliding, but if they so require, there's no problem with that.
Which one will you forego?
Of which election will come in August next year, but SONU elections for next year will be held in April. So everything is fine, there's no problem.
So will you be going, just to make it clear, will you be going for the 2017 SONU presidency?
I was planning to go for it to clear my 5-year term, but I've decided to donate that 1 year.
Who are you donating it to?
One of my comrades. There are several comrades who are capable, who are leaders, and who are also being brought up. And anybody who's fit, anybody who the students will see that is fit to hold the office, then that person is the person who will take after me.
Now, going back to the parliamentary elective seat, you intend to unseat John Omondi, who has been the Member of Parliament for Embakasi East. How would you rate his performance, having been a Member of Parliament for the last 4 years?
According to what's said facts, is that Embakasi East was ranked as one of the last constituencies in performance. And 2, the current MP, I don't want to talk much about him, but what has happened again to him, he was also shortlisted as among the MPs who are not speaking in Parliament. So there is no action, and there are no also words. So by the end of the day, I don't see if they are colliding, but if they so require, there's no problem with that. Which one will you forego?
Which party ticket will you be using?
I'll be using ODM, ODM and COD. So By the end of the day, there's nothing which has been done to Embakasi East residents. When you see them, they complain everywhere. When you see the youths, there's nothing which have been done to change their lives.
So what will you do to change their lives?
There are so many things from the education sector. It's just to improve the education system of Embakasi East. Currently, we have around 6 public primary schools and 2 secondary schools. We need to improve the facilities in those schools because they are so pathetic. We need to search for employment opportunities for the youths in Embakasi East. The Mama Mboga who is selling mboga in a kiosk, how do we join our heads together to ensure that this lady, this woman graduates into owning a supermarket? That is the kind of system that we want to set in Embakasi East.
So you will be going for the parliamentary seat on an ODM ticket.
Yes.
Of course, ODM is part of CORD, which has been highly contesting, or rather protesting the IBC commissioners. They finally offered to resign from their positions. Do you now feel confident as an aspirant who will be going with an ODM ticket that the next general election will be free and fair?
We still need to put measures to ensure that elections become free and fair. We'll not just be convinced that the next ones who are coming will not be doing the same things that had been done by the current IBC commissioners. The ones who will be coming should be seriously vetted. They should be coming from various interest groups. And I also propose that the youths and the women be well represented. Because when you look at the current commissioners, there is no representation of the youth. The youth should also be represented in that. The church should be represented. The political parties also, there should be representation.
But it is independent. It should be independent from political interference. Why do you suggest that there should be?
As much as you know, in composition or in the composition of the commission, I think all the interest groups should be taken into consideration. Then after that, the commission should be let to do their own independent work. But I think before that, either way, even now if somebody is chosen, not unless a person is chosen from heaven, right now any person who will be chosen will be having an interest, is either affiliated to CORD or Jubilee or even any other political party. So by the end of the day...
But don't you think, you know, involving political powers in the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission will now taint the name further, and we'll have other parties, other smaller parties also wanting to be included in the constitution of the commissioners?
I think the concern should be the major parties. Because these people, if we don't choose them, like I told you, you cannot choose anybody who is not affiliated to any party. Any person who will be chosen at least is affiliated to one party or the other. So by the end of the day, there should be just serious vetting, and then the commission should be led to do their independent work irrespective of the politics involved in it. But they have to go, because they are going to do a political, they are going to observe and conduct elections. It is a political process, which means that they have to be chosen just using a political process. They have to undergo a political process in their composition. So I don't see that. What is important is to put the measures to ensure that the next elections, that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is indeed independent and they are performing their duties as mandated as per the Constitution of Kenya.
So, Babu, let's talk about hate speech. You were recently arrested and detained at Milimani police station over hate speech alongside the Pangani 6 and Muthaiga 2. So, you having been a victim, do you think that the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, together with the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, are doing enough to effectively fight hate speech?
I think these are just scapegoats. In advanced countries like the United States, do you hear what Donald Trump talks about President Obama? And what Donald Trump talks about other citizens of the United States? Is there anything done to him? Because there's serious, mature democracy. Now here they are hoodwinking us. They're trying to cover our faces that if you talk like this, then we deal with you in this way. There's no solution in that. Because if I want to talk hate speech now, I will talk, irrespective of the number of arrests I will face. But by the end of the day, whatever I said did not amount to hate speech. Whatever.
Are you still facing the hate speech charges though?
Yeah, they're still on. I have my case coming up sometime in the course of this month. But you know, in Kenya, you are innocent until proven guilty. So by the end of the day, to me, I really blame the NCIC because they need to really educate some of their members to know what amounts to hate speech. Because whatever I said was not hate speech. Furthermore, look at the people who were put as witnesses in my case. They're all police officers. And they were saying they wanted to deny me bail on grounds that I will interfere with the witnesses, that I will intimidate the police officers. What level of thinking is that?
How would you suggest then the hate speech fight be carried out in the country? Because it is a concern, and it comes up very much when we're heading to the next general election, when Kenyans are divided along political lines, along political ethnicity and all that.
You know, Eunice, it is expected because it is really expected that during political times, Kenyans will be divided along political lines. There are people who are supporting different side of the political divide, and there are also people who are supporting the other side. So by the end of the day, what is important is for Kenyans to know that this country belongs to all of us. This country belongs to all Kenyans. We shouldn't be divided irrespective of our political, of the political sides that we take. We shouldn't be divided along our tribal lines because by the end of the day, we as normal Kenyans, as politicians fight in public as just a show-off, the normal Kenyan on the ground suffers a lot. Ile njaa inauma Mkikuyu, ndio njaa inauma Mjaluo, ndio njaa inauma Mluya. So I don't see the need of us to be divided along tribal lines when it only comes during the political moments, although it should be criticized highly of a government that is not performing, a government that is not delivering to the Kenyan citizens, because it is their inherent and inalienable right to deliver to the Kenyan citizens who put them in position. So when there's a problem and it is pinpointed by the opposition that here there's corruption, here corruption by the end of the day is corruption. You cannot baptize it. You cannot baptize facts. When there's corrupt government, there's a corrupt government. Look at what has been happening in Kenya, the Eurobond saga, the NYS scandal. Look at the officers. Nothing has been done to them. But look at the people who are being, the people that the government is going after, that you talked hate speech. Is that worse than the multi-billions that get lost in the government? The money that can be used to secure employment opportunities to the Kenyan citizens. What I would like to advise Kenyan citizens is that irrespective of our tribes, irrespective of our political divides, because it is not only in Kenya where people differ politically, people differ politically in any political system and setup in any part of the world. Right now there's elections in the United States. There are Democrats and there are Republicans. They are differing politically, ideologically, they are differing. They are not in tandem. So by the end of the day, Kenyans should know that this political season is just a short period of time. But that short period of time can influence our entire lives. Because what is happening with this, when we highlight the issues of corruption that's happening in the government, this money that is getting lost, remember we will pay it. Our sons and our grandchildren, our children and our grandchildren will come to pay this money someday. It is a debt that was taken, and it is a debt that we must pay. And before that, we are born with debts. So I would like to have Kenyan citizens to be very objective in their reasoning, to be very objective in their choosing of the leaders. Let them not say that this is our person. If, for example, who is the president of this country? He's a Kikuyu, yeah? In Central Province, there are Kikuyus. Do you want to tell me all Kikuyus in Central Province are now employed?
No.
So we should choose leaders who are performing.
Would you have a say that the government of the day has had concerted efforts towards fighting corruption?
I think little has been done about it. Look at Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Look at what's happening, even with the chairman. This is a country that is really crazy. In other countries, when people are just suspected to be corrupt, then you'll hear that a public officer has resigned. This is a country where somebody wants to be removed from that position by forceful means. Look at the police system in this country, the brutality that's happening in this nation, how they use the excessive force. The other day, you look, you saw Willie was killed just like that. The IG did not even bother to do anything. He ought to have resigned by now. He didn't do anything. Now, I think the government is not doing enough.
Let's talk about a recent, the controversial Ipsos survey that showed that President Uhuru Kenyatta is doing way good in fighting corruption and political ethnicity. What are your thoughts around that?
I think, first of all, if I divert a little bit on the Ipsos, when our brother talked about Raila should not...
yes, I was coming to that later. And what do you think about that? An Ipsos report showed that most Kenyans do not want CORD leader Raila Odinga to vie for the next general election.
I think that's very crazy of him to say that. He ought not to have done that. He ought to have at least compared the presidential aspirants, who among them is going to win. Presidents in the part of the nation have vied before and a very serious high age. Look at Buhari of Nigeria. Look at Senegal. Look at right now Donald Trump. Look at Hillary Clinton. These are people with seriously high age. So I think it is not about the age per se, but it's about the capability of a person. Is he capable to serve Kenyan citizens? So by the end of the day, when you want to say that Kenyans are not having faith in Raila serving them, what do you want to achieve by the end of the day? So I think those are just roadside. It's something, it's roadside. I think Ipsos has been turned to be a roadside statistical analysis organization. So I think it had some influence, some level of influence, if I might say.
And when the Ipsos survey shows that President Uhuru Kenyatta has performed well in fighting corruption and fighting a negative ethnicity, what do you think about that?
I look at what's happening in the country. Less than 2 months ago, there was corruption scandal. Right now, the issue of EACC chairman that was appointed the other day is involved in a scandal. How will that person come and personally, if he's calling himself a chairman of the EACC, how will he come and face me? Suppose I'm having corruption allegations. If himself is not clean, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Already his hands are dirty. So he should first of all step aside. So the president is a person who can perform if he wants to perform. The president is capable of sacking the whole cabinet. The president is capable of sacking the whole of the PSS in the whole ministries. So by the end of the day, he can do it, but he's not doing it. Let him serve Kenyans. Let him know that he has a legacy. What does he want to be remembered for? And these are one of the things that he should be remembered for. But if a country is languishing in abject poverty and there is corruption at this level, surely what do we want to attain? How will we control this nation? Remember, in 15 years down the line, 11 years down the line, it is us who will be controlling this nation. Do they want to leave this country when it's done? And remember that a country that is not feeding its Kenyan citizens, those Kenyan citizens will start feeding on the country itself.
Let's go back to campus politics.
Yes.
One of your promises that you made when you were campaigning for these years to be re-elected as SONU president was that you would create a rapport where University of Nairobi students would get, would rather connect with employers and get employment. How are you doing about that?
Actually, that's what I've been working on, because I want our graduates, by the end of the day, if a student graduates, this student deserves being employed. So I've been working with various organizations in the nation, and students are getting internship opportunities, students are getting employment opportunities. But I want these organizations to know that the University of Nairobi and any other university in this nation are producing creme de la creme of the society, the topmost, the elites, the very intelligent Kenyan citizens. These are people who, if their talents are properly tapped, if their knowledge is tapped into an organization, they can really achieve, they can really get optimum profits in these organizations. So I'm appealing still to these organizations to assist our students get employment opportunities. And also when a parent is taking her or his son to her daughter or his son to the university, they take them with an intention that one day they will help them, because the 80% of students in Kenyan university are very poor. And when the parents are educating them, they have the intention that one day this child of his or hers will remove them from the condition that they are currently at. So
improve their lives.
Yeah. So by the end of the day, when these people are done with their college, they should get something at least to start improving the lives of
Babu,
their parents, their family members.
That the number of jobs available versus the numbers of students graduating surpasses by so many. Are you also empowering them with entrepreneurial skills?
That's what we've been doing that, but that's not the problem about the issues of jobs. The money alone that is getting lost in this nation, how many employment opportunities can this money provide? So many. And students are also encouraged not just to seek for employment opportunities, but also to be employers, at least to be business oriented and also provide employment opportunities to other members of this nation. That's why they are trained also at the university. And I see majority of them forming companies, doing businesses, because we advise them to do so. And I think by the end of the day, there will be light after the tunnel. Yes.
Before we wrap this up, yesterday, Interior Cabinet Secretary Josephine Kaiseri appeared before the Legal Affairs Committee in Parliament over that viral video of University of Nairobi students being brutally beaten up by police officers. And he said it was justified because the university students were rowdy. Your thought on that?
I think use of excessive law is not allowed, because when you look at the way those people were beaten up, actually that wasn't good at all. It wasn't good, and it's not in any way acceptable. It's against the human rights. That's a complete assault.
But why do University of Nairobi students get so rowdy when it comes to protesting? Their protests are war.
You know, it's not about being rowdy. It's about the police. Before we start even rioting, police already starts rioting. They throw tear gas, they do anything. So they start, it's like they have a predetermined mind that let us do this so that these people can be portrayed in bad image. So they come, when we start peaceful protest, there is no protest that starts violently. We as leaders, we always are at the forefront. But when we march, they want to block us from going to where we are supposed to go. In the Bill of Rights, it's stated clearly that anybody is allowed to picket anywhere and present, it's called what? Okay, anyway.
Sentiments, or rather.
Yeah. They are grievances to any public office. But when you are going to those public offices, what do the police do? They block you, they start firing tear gas at you. And students, those are very intelligent people. Why would a student who reads in a library at the same time carry a stone and throw at anybody, at any member of the society?
You only can explain that,
so
because we have
those
seen
are not
some
students. These are some of the Kenyan citizens who are the amicus of the university, who also equally feel aggrieved, because when students have problems, when they have challenges, it affects the whole society, it affects the whole family. So these are just our amicus. But I believe that in the foreseeable future, things will be well.
So 4 years as the president of a student organization, SONU, how would you rate your leadership?
My leadership, I would give it 99%.
Ooh.
Yes, because I deliver to my constituents. What they want from the issues of school fees, when there was fee increment, we fought against it, and the vice chancellors are planning to increase university fees. I'm strongly warning them that they will leave those positions, and we will force them to leave those positions, because we will not joke around with them. You will not increase any varsity fee. It will be worse than any other thing that's happening in this nation. All comrades must come out and fight this vice. These are people who want to loot your money. Two, the issues of insecurity, we've really tried to deal with it at the University of Nairobi and other universities. Right now, at least the stability. We've also dealt with, at the University of Nairobi, we are soon getting a radio station, and we are approved of it. So everything will be well. We've worked on issues of issues on accommodation. We've worked on issues of arbitrary suspensions and expulsion. And students are soon going to be back at the university because that is their major goal. We want all students who are suspended and expelled to be brought back to the university and attain their degree. Among other things that we've done several things for the students, and they know issues of help. So we offer and we give students, we give them bursaries. So I think everything is fine.
You would rate
so
your
far,
leadership
I'm
at
99%. I think I'm the best student leader ever.
Of all times.
Of all
right.
times.
Thank you so much for creating time to be here. We really appreciate for your thoughts and insights. And of course, that marks the end of our Table Talk session this morning. Many thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure to have your audience. From me, Eunice Mai. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a lovely weekend.